Now that you have your legs cut to length and sanded, and also your triangle pieces are also cut, you don't need to sand them. Again, they're just scrap pieces. You can go ahead and start assembling it. What you'll need for that is you'll need some glue, you'll need a wet paper towel, the nail gun with 1¼ inch nails. You can get a hammer, and a nail set in this square. When you are assembling, what you want to make sure you have is you want to make sure that the miters themselves is nice and tight. So when we're assembling it, notice how here, how this is nice and tight all the way down the joint. We don't want anything that looks something like this, or it's bowed, or it's kind of cross-eyed or anything like that. Okay? So you want to make sure that the joint itself is tight all the way down the edge, and then also the top is flush. You also want to make sure that when you glue and you're trying to support, that these two surfaces are flush here. Okay? So, in order to do that, you can start with either one first. I think I'll just start with on this side here. You want to put on some glue, and all you need to do for that, just put on enough glue here, and then take your finger, smear it around, and you want to make sure that there's not so much glue that you can't see through the glue to see your actual end grain, but you want to make sure that there's not too little so that it won't hold your joint. Okay, so I'm just going to put some on both ends. Again, all I'm doing is just rubbing this around, just so that covers all the edges and all the surface. Okay. You want to wipe off any extra glue that happens to come on your finger or when it comes time to actually assemble it. The reason being is that if you start touching your material and you have your glue fingerprints all over the place, it'll actually act like a repellent for the clear finish that we're going to be putting on. Okay, so you want to make sure that you don't have any glue on your material. The only place you want it is on the actual joints. So what I'm going to do here is make sure that this is nice and tight, and I'm going to be putting 3 nails in on each joint. I'm going to put one on the long side, and then I'm going to tie in 2 others opposite. One towards the bottom, one towards the top. And again, I want to make sure that I center the nail along the board, so that when the nail comes through, it comes in the center and not off to one side or to the other side. So I'm going to make sure that I have the top's edges flush and then also my joint tight. You can see some glue starting to come out. That's alright. We'll wipe it up when we're done. We'll take the air gun. And again, when you are nailing, make sure that your nail goes in straight. Okay? You don't want to angle it one way or the other. What will happen is it will actually shoot out the side. So if you want, you can ask a partner to help hold you. Make sure they're not holding up here in case the nail kicks out, then it won't go into their fingers. So make sure they hold back a little bit. And what you're going to do is you're going to line up this tip, not the extreme tip, but this part right here. You're going to line up that up because that's where the nail actually comes out. So you're going to, here. Line this up again. And have to push down and then pull the trigger. It's not, probably won't go down all the way because of the pressure, and that's what the hammer and the nail sets for. Right, so I'm going to turn it this way, so I have one done, and now I want to do the other 2. Again, I want to tie them together. Okay, so I can wipe up that excess glue, and then what I can do is I can put some glue on my scrap piece. Just do a quick wipe. And what you can do for that is make sure that this part is flush here. Once it's in there, double check with the square, see if this needs to move at all. That looks pretty good. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be shooting through from this side into my leg. Okay, so I want to make sure that I'm not too close to the edge, because again we have 1 1/4" nails. So if I shoot too close to the edge, it's going to come out the side. If I shoot too far in, it's not going to stick into my leg. It would be kind of pointless. So I'm going to find about 3/4 of an inch in, maybe a little less, and I'm going to kind of angle it. And I angle it just to make sure that it doesn't come shooting out the side. Okay, if you want to put it straight in, you can do it, but it's just easier if you angle it. So we want to go about 3/4 in on each side. If you want to mark it, you can. If you just want to eyeball it, that's fine too. We'll take this. Make sure that it's flush with that rabbit that we made. And I'll go ahead and wipe up that glue. Just make sure we wipe up any that's on the table. If we have our nails that are sticking out, I can take the hammer and just lightly tap them down. You want to make sure that you don't leave any marks on there at all. Okay, it's just pine, so it should go on fairly soft. Like right here, it still sticks out a little bit. These couple other ones too. And I don't want to dent my material or leave marks in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my nail set. I'm just going to set this nail set on top of the nail, and I'll just give it a couple light taps, just so that it's flush here. Okay, so you'll also be graded on that, making sure that your nails are flush with the face of your board. So really, you want to only be able to see them and not feel them. So if you close your eyes and you can still feel them, you either set them in too far or they need to go down further. And then you want to go ahead and continue on with your next one. So this part here, all I would do is I put glue on both my sides, or both my ends. I would glue and nail this one first together, and then lastly I would do my supports. When I nail this one, I want to be careful because there's a knot right here, and a knot is denser. So when it's dense, it has a tendency for that nail to actually shoot out to the side. So when I'm shooting through this triangle support, I really want to be careful and make sure that my fingers are far enough apart from holding this. Because if I'm holding it here like this, and I shoot the nail, it could kind of bounce off that knot and go into my finger. So I want to be careful that when I hold this one here, that I would hold it, I would shoot this side first, and then I'd come back and I would actually hold back here and nail that one in.